Good afternoon. I would first like to start by introducing myself. My name is Charles Segar and I am currently a student at Turo's Graduate School of Education and my major secondary special education. The purpose for this video is for me to introduce my lesson plan which I created during my literacy course. The name of this lesson is War Letters by Andrew Carroll. The purpose behind this lesson plan was to create an interdisciplinary unit between the English and Global department. During this time, students were required to write letters of correspondence spanning from the Great Spanish-American War to that of Vietnam. During this time, students read letters that were translated from English to Spanish, Vietnamese to English, and just to say it, English to English. Now, well, the reason why I say that is because during those times, the English that they used is not used anymore, as far as Old English, New English, and everything above. Now, majority of the strategies or resources incorporated into this lesson plan was targeted for the students who have IEPs and ESL students. The reason why a majority of the resources or strategies was targeted to this particular group or this particular population of students is to excel them from intermediate levels of English to proficiency or mastery levels of English, and students who have IEPs to introduce them to scaffolding techniques which would allow them to elevate themselves and also become lifelong learners. Now, during this time, as you can see, the cover of the book is War Letters. During the introduction of this lesson, the primary or one of the opening activities was for students to engage or to write a synopsis of what they thought the book meant, what was incorporated, or even character analysis. During this time that students engaged with one another, they were able to find out specific things as far as the reasons for the war, the time, the place, the setting, and even the emotional state of the soldier at the time. There was an overbearing theme: love, peace, hate, war. Now, with that theme, students were required to annotate each text with the assigned reading and label what category did the letter fall under. Was the soldier's correspondence one of war, one of peace, one of love, and one of hate? During the second activity, or the second lesson, students were required to write their first letter of correspondence as if they were the soldier themselves. They would take information from their global classes, such as locations for wars or certain battles, and incorporate that into their letters. Once they were done, students would take those letters, scramble them up, put them in a box, and had to pick at random. Now, when they once picked at random, it was to signify as if they were receiving that letter from the soldier at war. Now, at the end of the lesson, there was a three-part writing segment. Now, there was the first two letters, the letter of receiving and the letter of sending. Now, the third letter was the overall experience. Now, it seems like there was no strategies or resources mentioned, but with the continuous writing and the continuous engagement in class discussions that discussed or had an overview of the war and the global time periods, students were able to become better writers or develop a better insight or create their own understanding of the reason why a war took place. Now, I am not an educator at this point, but I am working on understanding the tools and the resources educators need to fulfill their students and make them want to become lifelong learners. Now, one of the things that I decided to incorporate in my lesson, or one of the activities I allowed students to engage in, was actually picking a wartime period that had significance to them, whether it be cultural, whether it be religious, whether it be geographical. Now, working in the DOE, we know that there's a large, diverse population, cultural and linguistically. Now, incorporating ESL strategies in a general English class had some milestones or had some difficulties. And as if you see towards my left-hand side, there were some basic vocabulary words or sight words that will allow the ESL population to have a smoother transition when it came to class discussions or even basic writing assignments, as I said. for class discussions. If you follow me up along across the board, you can see that we have an abundance of Latin American flags. The reason why we have these flags listed around the classroom is to let students know that there is cultural acceptances in the class. Now, dealing with a large population of ESL students in this classroom, we need them to feel as if they can engage with one another and develop their discussions. That's what, once again, I previously said about these sight words. One last thing I would like to leave you with is the graphic organizer or the DOK3 chart developed by the Danielson rubric. The reason why we chose DOK3 was because we always want to elevate our students. Though most of our students are intermediate in English, a stronger push with great resources would allow them to develop their English pronunciation and diction with ease. Now, I would like to take the time out to thank all of my professors, my co-teacher and primary teacher for assisting me in developing this lesson plan. Thank you and have a great day.